Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes, once again, we have liftoff. It's Big Truth for the Big Truth podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening today. And today I got a very special guest, my brother from New York. You might know him from Murphy's Law. You might know him from the B&B Takeover radio show. It's none other than the infamous Jimmy Gestapo. What's happening, brother?
What is up, Tooth? How are you, brother?
Good, man. Good. And we just had a little mini podcast before the podcast, just shooting the shit. So I felt like we had a good the warm up. We got the momentum going. But yeah, you know, obviously we're still in the midst of this COVID shit, so we're doing this over the phone rather than in person. But Jimmy is definitely in the top 3 people that I've really wanted to interview and do face-to-face. So we're definitely going to have you on again when we can do face-to-face, man. I mean, we just got to, because, you know, it's a whole different game when we're sitting in front of each other drinking and fucking having a good time. And I know that'll be...
I'm usually already drunk. That's why I missed it last time.
No, it's all right, dude. But yeah, man, so you're how are things going for you out in Queens?
Just fucking boring, dude. No work. No singing. I build bars and I sing in bars, so there's no bars, no work. Yeah. Getting worried about what I'm going to be doing soon because I'm running out of my savings. Because even before this, I was just getting back into playing again after my health problem. So I haven't done construction since the hospital broke my dick a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I know, dude.
It's been rough, dude.
Yeah, man, it's like fucking just keep getting fucking sucker punches to the head with shit, man. Fucking dude. And on top, well, the good thing is, right? Like, well, it's not really a good thing, but hopefully when this stuff gets fucking lifted and people can go into establishments again, I know not all of them are going to make it, but hopefully there's some new bars that come out and you'll get some work on the construction end of things, man. But fucking...
Yeah, I think people are going to also want to just go out and get fucked up and go crazy again. I'm sure everybody's sitting at home pretty antsy right now at this point.
Absolutely. And yeah, dude. And you know what? Speaking of the music thing, like, I can't think of a better thing to do to celebrate the reopening of everything than a good fucking Murphy's Law tour, Murphy's Law show, man, because everyone's going to need that stress relief and the fun and just like the hecticness of a Murphy's Law show. So hopefully you guys get some... And
the spreading of germs.
Yeah, that too. As that bottle of Jägermeister goes around the club and comes...
That last show in Boston, dude, if we didn't get it then, we ain't getting it. That's what I was like, well, this was it. That was I think, our last show before...
Yeah.
The world ended.
I know. When was that? Because it was like, I remember that, and it was still one of those things where it was like they had just started telling people not to go out, but it wasn't like kind of mandatory yet. Nothing was shut down yet. It was in March.
I just came back from Japan. They were telling us not to go to Japan. We had to change our flights. We were supposed to fly into Korea. No, we were supposed to fly into Hong Kong, and they were like, "Nope, you can't fly into Hong Kong." I'm like, "Well, we're going to change our flights then." We flew right. I forget, we flew Chicago and then from Chicago to Japan.
Yeah.
But even then, people were like, "You're crazy going to Japan." I'm like, everybody wears masks there already. I mean, I've been going there since '95, I think.
Yep.
And that was the first time I witnessed people in the street wearing masks. And that was because if you have a cold, you wear a mask so you don't spread the germs.
Yeah, they're a very polite society over there. I only went once, but that was 2005, and I did that exact flight. We flew from Boston to Chicago, then Chicago straight to Japan, and that's a fucking motherfucker of a flight right there, dude.
I've done it straight there, which you don't get off the plane at all. You just keep drinking.
You just keep drinking.
Like that for Xanax too.
Well, yeah. What I find is that drinking and Xanax is a concoction for travel that I call time travel. Because
they should give it to you when you get on the plane. They should give you a drink and a small Xanax.
Yeah, a little bar of Xanax and a drink, and then you just wake up. You're in a different place. It's like a different time. You just time traveled.
I've actually done that. I did before I knew what a Xanax bar was. I thought it was one big weird pill. It's actually 4, and I took a whole Xanax bar, and luckily I didn't have to change planes. I got on the plane, took the pill out of vodka and orange juice. I had the stewardesses waking me up in an empty plane, going, "Mr. San, Mr. San, you okay, Mr. San? I was in Japan. I fell asleep in New York. I woke up in Japan.
That's fucking awesome. You woke up on a different continent and on a different day. You like, cause
I was fucking still wasted too. So they had to escort me off the plane, and luckily I wasn't doing anything that night.
Yeah, the last time I flew to Mexico City, Dan gave me a edible, and I just can't do weed edibles. They hit me too fucking hard, dude. I just process it different, and because I was like, man, dude, I fucking hate flying. He's like, yeah, take this, and I took the edible, and literally, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get on the fucking plane, be able to get on the plane, dude, because I went into like a full blown psychedelic trip, and then I couldn't move.
Yeah, I panic on if it's too much. I get panicky.
Oh yeah, dude, I was looking down at my arms, and I couldn't move them, and then they were like, there was all kinds of squiggly lines running around. It looked like, remember that Aha video, Take On Me, where it was like they were drawn and it was all squiggly lines moving? That's what my whole field of vision looked like, and I was like, oh, fuck, dude, I ain't...
And you had to get on a plane.
Yeah, to Mexico City, and I was like, fuck, dude. And then I had like a whole hangover the next day from like a weed hangover, and I've never had that.
Yeah, weed hangover is bad.
Yeah, it was just bad news, but I was like, I am never fucking with one of these edibles again because there's too much. I've only fucked with them a couple times. One time, Stress gave me them some, and at the bowl, and I was like fucking fucked up at that bar across the street from the for like 6 hours, and KO had to watch over me. I like missed like a half a day, and then
that happened to me at the bowl with what if they should dab? Somebody gave me a dab. You ever tried dab? I'm like, no, I never tried a dab. I said, to me, I'll do it, and it was like. Every bong hit I ever did in my entire life all at once. I missed 3 bands and I couldn't move. I had to have people help me get off.
Yeah.
I was fucking, that's like super, that's too much. It's super pot. I like pot and plant.
Yeah,
Plant. You roll it, you break it up. You know?
yeah. People are doing too much weird shit with it now. It's too much. It's too much.
Super hippies, man, freaking out. No wonder there's fucking retards like eating pod with the soap things, the Tide Pods and shit like that. You're so stoned, you do something that stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah, dude. It's so fucking ridiculous, man. But fuck, dude. So that was the last. That's the last show I've been to as well. And then like literally all the shit started really firing off the next week. And then
I think that was the last show. That was like the last show. I don't think there was any more shows about them at that.
No, yeah. I literally think that was like the last minute of the last day, the last minute, and the last second you could have a show. You guys you're just getting off, and it was like, you could tell everyone was a little sketchy in the crowd, and the crowd wasn't like. I know that the pre-sales like they had pretty decent pre-sales, but like a lot of the pre-sales didn't even show up, and
people panicked. Fucking, if you're gonna die, if I didn't die yet from germs and shows, I'm not gonna die even now from germs, the pandemic germs. It's like I've been at fucking disgusting places in Germany and in Europe in the early '90s. It's like squats, the dog shit on the stage, and if I didn't get fucking anything, I'm not gonna get anything now. I don't want to sound like a cocky asshole, but. You build up a tolerance to everything. Never mind the disgusting bathrooms and shit. You got to be around germs. You got to have a strong immune system.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's like all those memes going around, like they show CBGBs of the rat and said, if you ever went to the bathroom in this place, you're automatically immune to COVID. And it's true, man. Like,
well, you ever see the picture of the toilet, CBs? There's a picture of me on the toilet.
Oh yeah, that's a awesome picture too. That's fucking hysterical. And it was the CB's toilet was just so funny because it was like a little throne. You know what I mean? It's just.
Well, you weren't shitting in that one if you had to go. You go right into the girls' bathroom where they had a door.
Yeah, no, obviously, yeah. You got to do what you got to do.
Girls don't piss on seats either, so it's not all the time.
I don't know, man. I worked in the bar. I worked as a bouncer and stuff for years, and there was plenty of times we had to go get people out of the women's bathroom, and those places can be just as disgusting as the men's room. But
when chicks get drunk, they lose aim. They have trouble aiming too, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, you know what it is? They probably haven't fully seated yet, and it's already going before they anchors down. You know what I mean?
The old hover and spritz.
Well, and there is people that don't want to sit on a public toilet seat, so they got to do what they got to do. They hover or they stand on the end and fucking, I don't know, whatever the fuck they do. But
try going on tour and doing that every day. You wind up with legs like Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. Well, not in Japan, because Japan has like the super fucking awesome like fucking new age fucking toilet. Didn't you buy one?
Total washlet, dude. Total washlet. And it plays music. It washes your butt. The seat's heated. The whole night. And next to the thing is a sprayer thing to spray the seat and clean it. And men don't piss on seats there. When you piss, you lift the seat up and you piss.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you
conversation? What happened?
No, it's all right. It went right down to the gutter. But didn't you buy one when you got back? Because you were so stoked.
No, I gotta have my electrical. I have to have cuz set up the electrical. You need an outlet next to your toilet to have it.
Oh, okay.
So you gotta plug it in to heat the water and to run the pump.
Yeah. I get you.
I guess Roger's got two of them, but he's got smaller ones. I want the fucking full blown, crazy. I want it. I want it all. I want the blow dries your ass, which it does. It's got an air filter. I want the whole fucking thing. If I'm gonna do it, I'm going. If you're gonna go big, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Roger has a saltwater pool too, which was always like, he was the first dude I ever knew that had a saltwater pool.
Coming from the guy that used to live in a van and shit in a cup, he's come a long way.
A long way. That or the squats, you know what I mean? But
forget it, man. The stories that I could tell, I won't till I write my book and get him back for talking shit. Boy, there's chapters, boy, where he was living in the van on Ebony Way. Forget it.
Oh yeah.
Well, it shows, you could come a long way with hardcore music.
Yeah, man. And dude, sometimes like backstage, like listening to him and Vinny tell some of their tour stories are fucking, the shit that we all could get away with years ago compared to now. You know what I mean? It's just, it's amazing that in our lifetime, the world has changed so much. And until you really sit back and think about it, you don't realize it. Like in the 80s and 90s when there wasn't cell phones or like cameras everywhere, like, things were just more fucking wild
rat
style.
Box in your hand, you could immediately rat on somebody or become popular with this little nerd box.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like, for us, if someone's popular as you call it, the little nerd box, like that doesn't mean anything. But I think to the kids that are coming up now, that means everything, and that's fucking weird, dude. Because it's not
how many likes you got.
Yeah. I don't give a shit about any of that. Like, it's to the point where, like, I know there was like a bunch of tattoo artists, local tattoo artists that got called out because they found out that they were buying followers. Like, there's like services like where you can buy followers. Oh yeah,
you could do that. Totally do that. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Like, who the fuck? Why would you even do that? Who gives a shit? Like, if and it's like you pad your followers, but it's not people that really care about what you're doing. So they're not supporting your business in any means. It's just a little ego boost for you to show, look, I got 47,000 followers.
I don't care if you like me. Just buy a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah. I'd rather have 5,000 followers that like actually really support than 400,000 that are just fake. Yeah. Like, who fucking cares, dude? So ridiculous.
True.
But dude, I mean, and just getting back to that, where you're talking about like old New York stuff, like you are one of like the fucking, for lack of a better word, and like even as Ian was like made that movie Godfathers of Hardcore, like you're a godfather of New York hardcore, man. Like you've been around since like the get-go, man, and historically the things you've seen or been through like is incredible. And I know just hanging around in New York City, just walking around with you half the time, you're like, oh yeah, right over there, that was this, and fucking over here we did that, and over there, like you should be doing the walk-in tours and making the money off that shit, man. But like,
that's John Joseph's business. He got that going.
No, I know he got that hustle going before you could. But I mean, fucking, what. Like just kind of go back into it for people that don't know, like, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot from this. Like going back to the early days, like how did you even find your way into punk and hardcore? Like what was like the path that led you into that?
You just look for the kid that looked different, and you asked if you saw a kid that looked that had whack and had spiked hair and a leather jacket with bands on it, you talk to him. It was like, hey, what's going on? Anything going on? It was like word of mouth.
Oh, no,
when
no.
I was really young. Oh, good.
Oh, no, and I remember that too. Like, I remember when I knew anybody that was that lived in Massachusetts that was into punk rock or hardcore. Like, I pretty much knew every single fucking person because it was so small back in the '80s. And but like, what even got you into it in the first place? Like, how did you like what was like?
Just guys, and then Doug from the Cro-Mags, Doug Lozito or Doug Holland. He was in a band called Apprehended, a punk band. And he lived like 2 blocks away from me. And all the kids in the neighborhood, we talk on like walkie-talkies and CB radios. That was the way that was what we did back in the day. And Doug would like blast like Sex Pistols and stuff on the CB. And we started hanging out. And he was hanging out with these older like kids that were like really punk rock, like crazy punk rock. You know, swastika shirts and like Sid Vicious chains and the whole shit, like the whole like 70s punk look.
Yeah.
And it was this guy, Alex, and his girlfriend, Delza, who was hot. And they had a band called Apprehended. And that was my first, like, live thing of seeing punk rock. And that was pretty much sold. You know, there was girls, there was interesting people, there was music. You know, it was like a whole new, it was a whole new thing. You know, right then it was a whole new thing. And it was pretty, you know, attractive to a fucking 13-year-old kid. You know, I'm like, holy shit, I got to get into this.
Yeah.
Find out more.
What year was that? Like when you first started getting
1942.
Yeah.
I think it was like 19. Had to be 1980. 1980.
Yeah. So, dude, that's fucking super interesting because I remember when we were kids, we had walkie-talkies. That's like the OG cell phone, like, you know, like the kids in there, everyone would buy like the fucking kind of ask for the same one for like Christmas or whatever, or like save up or whatever.
The realistic 3-channel. We had we had realistic 3-channel.
Yeah, realistic.
I'm so old. I remember CBs when it only had 23 channels. Then it went to 40 channels, and the whole world opened up. It was like, whoa, 40 channels.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. That's fucking
That was
crazy.
the way to communicate to your block when you had to go home. You know, you had to be home at dark. So then you couldn't go on your parents' phone. So everyone got walkie-talkies, and you get 2 blocks.
That's fucking rad. So you're the
after we've had much to talk about anyway at our age, but whatever. It was like, what are we gonna do tomorrow? You know?
Yeah. Where you want to meet up? Yeah. What time?
Yeah. We were we're gonna meet up in the same place anyway. But yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Before cell phones, is you had to know where and when you were meeting up, because otherwise you were asked out and you were trying to play catch up and find everyone all night. But dude, so you're the first person that I've talked to. Like, most people are like, oh, I had an older brother sent me tapes, or my uncle, or for me, like, I heard it on like the college radio station. So you're the first person that I think found punk rock or hardcore through someone playing it over a CB radio, fucking walkie-talkie.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't on the airwaves for us, but yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man, dude. And
but, I mean, never mind tried touring before. GPS and a phone and in your pocket, in your hand and stuff. It was like tour was like, you know, we used to tour with a map and no phone, no, not even before fax machines even. It was like, oh yeah, Jesus Christ, like, you know, that it could only go worse if the wheels were made of wood on the van.
Yep. Yeah, dude,
but it was like you'd have to call the promoter's mom and find out where the kid putting on the show. Had to get in touch with him, find out where to go. It was like,
oh yeah, it was a mess, dude. I remember stuff like that. Did you have a Rand McNally road atlas
No, I had the paper shit, dude. The Rand McNally book one, that was fancy shit, bro. That was expensive.
Oh, dude,
Once I got older, I got the book one, the truck driver one.
Yeah, that's what I had, man. When we used to go, like, you know, even in like the early days of Chophead, which was, you know, like 2001, you know, cell phones weren't what they are now, or there wasn't GPS, so we still used the map to get to like, oh, we're gonna go to this show and wherever, or we're gonna go pick up this bike. We would map out the routes, dude, like with the fucking atlas, dude. It was fucking crazy, you know?
What was the thing that they had? The disto map. It told you how much further you had to go. You just turn the wheel. It was like New York to Chicago. You turn the wheel, and it would say like the mileage and how long it would take.
Oh, yeah.
Like, remember, I think it was a wheel with a book, disto map.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't have that, but I remember seeing that before. But yeah, so So, but like Murphy's Law, like didn't, so you started getting into punk right around like early 1980, early 80s, like, and Murphy's Law didn't come about too much longer after that, right? Like, I mean,
not too much longer, no.
Like what?
It was 82, 83, or 82, 83, 83, 84, I think it was. And literally on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. So. That's awesome, man. And I remember I saw footage, and I'll talk to you about the source afterwards and everything. And I think we've already kind of talked about this, but I saw footage of an old A7 show, which must have been 82, 83. And it was you guys, and you were like kind of hosting the show. And like Beastie Boys was still a punk band, and they played, and a couple other like AF played with, and you know, and and I was talking like I was talking like a retarded kid, like yeah, everybody, yeah.
And I did someone where I did the Void cover.
Yeah,
I sang Void with, and that was with the Psychos, I think, and then Agnostic Front played.
Yeah, and that was like filmed for like some
new
TV
footage out now that somebody put out that's I think even older than that of Urban Waste with the original singer Urban Waste.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, because I think that was like recorded for some like TV show or something like that. Like they did a little.
That was some NYU college kids. A lot of college kids would come to shows and film stuff, and I'm lucky enough they did because there's that footage now. So pretty funny to see it. And that's pretty much the oldest and best footage there is of New York shit.
Yeah. Because, dude,
DC back then, those kids came for money. So when they'd come from shows and stuff, they'd show up with take a pictures and like Super 8 filming. And I'm like, well, what are you documenting? We're documenting us having fun. I never got why people would document it back then, but they had the foresight to know to take pictures of it. I was like, why? Back then it was like, for me, like when you're a punk show or a punk kid, to have pictures taken during the show was like fucked up. Why are you trying to exploit us? That kind of ignorance. Like, what are you doing, man? Who are you? Who's that guy taking pictures? It was always like, if you didn't know who was taking pictures, they would get fucked up. What are you exploiting us?
Fuck yeah, no, I know, man. I got in a little later. I started going to shows more like 85, so I got in a little bit later. I missed kind of that first wave, but it's funny how like all the scenes had their own, like, especially the early 80s, the shit I missed, like everyone kind of had their own little vibe. Like you said, like New York was like more squats and fucking craziness like that, and fucking like the DC kids were like sons of like senators or whatever, had a little better off. And I know the Boston guys, like, because they were all hockey dudes and stuff, everyone would be like, oh, the Boston like fucking like SSD dudes, like jocks and shit. Like I know they always said that shit. And whatever, but
Ow.
Yeah. And so it's just funny to see like how everyone had their own little kind of like, flavor to things, like, but, and then,
that's where we were growing up that made us who we are, and the flavor that we had. So,
yeah.
But it's cool that years later, it all gelled together and we all became one big mess of fat angry guys.
Yeah. One
fat grumpy guys.
One big dysfunctional family. So
it's true.
So how did like Murphy's Law come about? Like what kind of led to the formation of that band? And I know it's you've gone through, I mean, fuck, dude, 82, 83, it's fucking 2020. You guys are still fucking rocking, dude, like fucking and still having a fucking blast. Like, so like what led to the formation of that?
I wish right now, but
I know.
The super sniffles put us out of business for a bit.
The super sniffles. But like it's no joke. It's no joke. But it's enough of this. Let's get out. Let's get out of our houses. Let's stop hiding at home. How long are we going to hide at home for? Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, the early days with the band, it was like me and Harley. That was Harley and me just trying to goof around and be like, what can we do to be stupid and make fun of stuff? And because everyone was too serious.
Yeah.
AF singing about all the street and the government and all everybody was singing about the government and the street and angry and pissed off. And I was like, we're singing about beer and pussy and having fun and so silly shit, make fun of everybody, and it's a little bit of levity to this heaviness. Everybody knows the government sucks already. Okay. And don't trust the politician. Okay. And cops beat people up. Well, okay, we know that too. But, what about that funny kid over there with the big nose? Let's make fun of him. That's a lot more fun. Make fun of your friends and laugh.
Yeah, man.
Have a party. Punk. dress like you don't have a mohawk and wear bondage pants and try to take yourself seriously, man. Really, some of these punk rock people are really funny lately. You know, they dress up in all these colorful shit, and act all crazy, and they look all silly, and then they're like, but no, they get all serious. I'm like, how could anyone take you serious when you dress like a clown? Believe me, I love punk rock, but you can't take too many people take it too serious. That's the problem.
Get it. Yeah. And it was just a good fucking, I don't know, like that's what the scene needed, dude, and that's why, I think you guys, like that record, especially that first record, man, the first couple records just blew the fuck up, man, because people like super responded. And what I remember about Murphy's Law, you'd go to a Murphy's Law show and there was like skinheads, there was punk rock dudes, there were hardcore kids, there were metal dudes, like it just resonated with everybody. You know what I mean? And
everybody's welcome.
Yeah, that's
it wasn't a one scene deal. Everybody, and it's still not. Everybody's welcome to have a good time. Come and everybody likes to have a good time, right? So that's why everybody comes, I guess.
No, absolutely, man. Fucking, and actually, dude, like you're the last band I've seen because of the before COVID, or
before the end of the world.
Yeah, at the beginning stages of COVID. But you're one of the first bands I saw too. Like, because I like I said, I started going to the shows in '85. But you're the first and only arena hardcore band I ever saw. When I saw you guys at Providence Civic Center when you opened up for Beastie Boys.
My God, that's what Todd. You got arrested after the show.
You did. Oh,
Todd Youth got arrested after the show.
Really?
Yeah, we all got beat. Like we all got beat up by the bouncers and thrown out of the place in the back. I don't think everybody saw that in the front, but yeah, in the back we had a big thing with the bouncers.
Really? But dude, what
Todd
a fucking...
had like an ID that said he was like 30 and he was like 17 or 16.
Yeah. So So, dude, like I know we could probably do a whole podcast just on that fucking tour, man. But like that was fucking crazy to me, because that was the funny thing is because like there was a lot of people I remember from my high school that went because they were like rap people, and they were like, what the fuck was that Murphy's Law shit? I was like, that shit was fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Because I was still in high school at the time. And then that was like a lot of people's first kind of probably foray into punk rock, and I don't think they were expecting to see that, like a punk rock band opening for Beastie Boys.
It was fun for me. I got beat up a lot of times.
So yeah, I mean, like, how did that tour come about, and like, what are some of the highlights? I mean, obviously you can't get into all the tour stories and stuff, but I mean, like, that was just fucking insanity to me, and I wish there was still more shit like that, man, because it was so much fun. And I wish, like, not more than anything, but I wish I bought one of those long sleeve License to Ill shirts that had the plane going down the sleeve. Dude, if I had that, that's like eBay gold right now, dude. Fucking.
But now it's like, now there's punk rock bowling. Now everybody thinks they know better. Now everybody's cool, right? You could go online and buy a whole punk rock outfit and show up to like punk rock bowling and be
all right.
All of a sudden, you're like punk rock down, like that.
Well, dude,
but, it's cool. It's cool. It's more convenient, but it's also convenient, which isn't cool.
Yeah. No, I get it, man, and for sure. And one of the things that's so weird to me, and I'm sure it's even weirder to you, like growing up when we did, and I'm a couple years behind you, like punk rock was not fucking cool or hardcore or any other, whatever genre of like extreme music you want to talk about. That shit wasn't cool back then. And I got into a lot of literal physical altercations because of what I was into or how I looked or whatever, or just being on a skateboard, fucking whatever. Oh, you fucking skate fag, blah, 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 or whatever. And it's like, to me, it was cool because like, we grew up like having a fight for what we were into. It wasn't like you said, so convenient as it is now, or like it wasn't like the cool kids were into it. But
there's no more proving yourself to get into the scene. Now you have to. Now you just show up and you buy a ticket and you show up and you're in.
Yeah. And it's like before online, like you could go to Hot Topic and it was like, oh, I want to be a skinhead. You could buy your skinhead starter kit. You could buy your street punk starter kit. You could buy your crust punk starter kit. Like from
that. You just go online and you order it. It comes right to your door.
Yeah, it comes right to you in 2 days, free shipping. Fucking. But yeah, man.
Free shipping.
How did that tour is like, that's one of the amazing tours to me, like just because it's, when I was a kid, I was fucking so psyched at that show. Like
the first one of its kind. The first time a tour like that ever happened.
But like, and, music was so different back then because wasn't the beginning of that tour, Beastie Boys were still playing clubs, but then they just fucking blew up.
When we started that tour, when that tour started, they were still, we were just playing colleges and like bigger clubs. And then the record broke. And we were playing, and the next thing, like a couple of days later, they changed up the tour and we were playing in arenas. It was pretty intimidating to say the least.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts, dude. Like, it's so fucking crazy. Like nothing like that really happens anymore. I don't think like to that extent, like it's just weird.
No, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, not to that extent where all of a sudden there's a form of music that hasn't normally been in front of that many people happening. Yeah, I guess. No, not really. It's pretty easy to play in front of a lot of people now. I mean, that's like what people doing at home now. You can just set up at home and play, and people can just watch it. It's lazy now, pretty much. Easy to be lazy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, and I know a lot of people during this, like, because, obviously a lot of our friends are musicians and, whatnot. One of the ways people have gotten creative to be still play is you can broadcast live from your fucking bedroom, dude. Like, you could do an acoustic set and fucking broadcast live from your living room or wherever, or rehearsal space or whatever you wanted to do. And
you're not getting a free beer from me like that.
you're not getting a shit. You're not getting a sip of the fucking the Jägermeister out of the bottle. From
Jägerbomb.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do like nipples. Everyone's gonna have to get their own Jaeger nipple or something. I'm trying to reinvent the party without spreading germs. Like I don't want to get anybody COVID positive. Never mind. I what about herpes and all the other shit we could have got from that bottle?
I know. You're gonna just. You're gonna have to go old school and just pour it into people's mouths from the air and not hand it out anymore. Just let people line up.
That doesn't work. I wound up chipping people's teeth, and then I wound up getting a dentist bill. So I'm just not sharing anymore. That's it. The COVID thing just it took all the charity out of me. No more sharing now.
no more sharing of alcohol. But
or those little pill cups. I'm gonna have to get like 1,500 pill cups.
Yeah, to give little shots out. You're gonna just have to have Jägermeister to give you a bunch of fucking nips, dude, little shooters. You know what I mean?
They gave us years when we were sponsored by them, which we're not anymore. They gave us Murphy's Law Jägermeister shot glasses we had.
Oh, that's awesome.
I guess I don't know what happened. We're just not sponsored by them anymore.
You know what happens?
They discovered Slayer.
Yeah. But the other thing that happens too, like with a lot of those like alcohol companies, I find is that like you'll have somebody that works there that is so stoked and is cool to work with, and then they get fired or they leave. And then, you know what I mean? Like we used to be sponsored by Pabst for like a lot of the events we do. And then they just fired their whole like marketing and promotions department and they started outsourcing it. So it was like all new people doing it. And those people had their events that they were, or people that they were interested in sponsoring, and they didn't keep all the people that were previously sponsored, and that's a weird industry, man.
That's corporate, man. That's pretty much any industry, man. Anything like that, I'm sure Vans does the same thing too. I mean, people leave and then they lose connections with those artists and stuff, and it kind of goes a different direction.
Yeah.
Not always for the best. I mean, Pop Blue Ribbon has been, whatever they've been doing, they're definitely trying to reach a certain group of people. But primarily, it seems like our friends from the way they sell their merch and stuff.
Who's that?
Pabst Blue Ribbon. They've been definitely pushing it. I think more the Budweiser.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, obviously, yeah, like PBR definitely, like, Budweiser is just like a way more general, like, I think Pabst did try to get into that kind of niche marketing, like go more towards the blue collar or like the subcultures or whatever more than some of the other ones. But I don't know what they're doing now, but yeah, like all the people that I had connections with over there, they're all gone. Like, so I don't, whatever, dude. Like you said, it's all corporate shit, dude. Like they're like, all right, well, we crunched these numbers and now we're going to do this instead. And it's like, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't see as many punk rock bowling people buying our beer, so we're going to move it to golf now.
All right, so you saying that brings me to, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but one thing I fucking love about you is that, like, Murphy's Law is like you said, you started a band that was all in jest, like it's all fun, like let's make fun of things, let's have a good time, you know, like everyone's invited, like let's just bring a party to you know, let's have a show that's also a party. So a lot of people know you as a very good time guy, but you are fiercely protective of like hardcore and punk and like in the hardcore, like the true kind of like hardcore and punk scene. And so you are very outspoken against things that like where people are capitalizing on things or they're just not getting things right or they're not coming from a real place. And I just want to give you a shout out for that because it's something I respect. Like
well, thank you, because it definitely pisses off a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
shit, you know.
No, I mean I was with you when you walked out of a viewing of a certain screening of a certain movie, and you know, I don't know.
Tequila didn't help, but I was definitely not impressed with that.
yeah, no, and I remember you would you know, vehemently objected to some people being involved in a movie about hardcore that you know, it was just as baffling to me. I'm like, are they just interviewing these people because they're big in the metal scene and have a bigger reach, and it's just seemed like a cheap ploy to get more viewers for their film or whatever. But I remember we were there and you being very outspoken about hardcore and punk and what it meant to you and how there was people involved in that had nothing to do with it and fuck them, and you walked out. And I was like, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, Drew Stone never forgot how mad I was. I'll say it.
Yeah, no.
You know, you gotta call him like I see him, bro. If you don't speak out and you're in this community and you're a singer in one of the bands and you don't speak out how you feel, then you're not really real. You're full of shit. You know, you're like trying to, you know, this is not supposed to be a ball tugging, ass kissing scene. You know, it's supposed to be speak your mind, whether people like it or not. You know, but it seems lately that a lot of people just want to brown nose each other, whether they like it or not. They're going to kiss your ass and say they love it. Oh, I love your new record. I love it. Isn't this kind of, you know, I like it. I'd be nice, but a lot of bullshit involved too.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got to call it sometimes. I can't shut my mouth. It's my New York Guinea in me.
No, and I love and respect that, man, because like, and no one can fuck with you. You got more of a history than most people involved in this. You know what I mean? So like, what can someone really say? Like, you know, like, be like, nah, I was there, motherfucker. These dudes weren't involved with anything we were doing, or you know, like. I remember, you know, and I got nothing against, I like a lot of metal and stuff like, but I remember distinctly in the mid to late 80s, like there were hardcore kids and there were metal dudes and there were separate shows. There was some crossover, but like by and large, like there was a lot of times we were at war with each other. You know what I mean? Like they didn't.
Yeah, big time. I was not you know, there's other guys in bands that welcomed that whole metal scene, and I never liked crossover. I never did. Sorry. You know, metal has its place, and hardcore punk has its place.
Yeah.
And when the two of them crossed into each other, I don't know. Unfortunately, two of them crossed into each other, and a lot of it became hardcore now. Now, a lot of guys who have long hair years ago are now like chunging around like hardcore guys. You know, metal and hardcore have kind of crossed into each other, unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
I liked it when it was hardcore punk. I don't like hardcore metal.
Yeah. No, I get it. And, you know, to each their own, but like, I just mean like at a certain time, I remember they were two different scenes and they were on different paths. And like, you know, it was two styles of extreme music. So there was a lot of like, you know, punks that would go to certain metal shows or metal dudes that would come to punk shows. But I remember getting in a lot of fights with metal dudes back in the early days because they didn't really understand what we were doing. And, you know, probably vice versa. Like I didn't get all the nuances of the metal scene. And so, you know what I mean? And you know, there was just a lot of war going on back then, dude. Just even amongst each other. But like, you know, like I just remember going to school fighting the fucking jocks and these fucking dudes and this dude and the fucking Guido dudes, like the Z Cavaricis and the fucking, you know.
And now everybody brings their kids to shows and everyone's smiling.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, you know, like
I like it. I love kids, but you know, there's a time and a place. Some shows, I gotta watch my P's and Q's when I'm on stage. There's a little kid standing there on the side of the stage with a headset on with their dad, and I'm like, I want to talk about pussy. I want to curse. I want to scream. I want to smoke a joint on stage. You know.
Yeah.
It was like, but there's a little kid standing there. It's like it'd be good.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
it doesn't always work for me. But.
Yeah. Well, you know, whatever, man. I mean, I mean, if anyone knows Murphy's Law, you know what the song content's about. You know what's going to happen there's no secret that, alcohol is going to be thrown around and passed around and fucking consumed and fucking, and whatever, so it's like, I don't know. I think if at a certain point, if you bring your kid to a show, you can't expect the show to bend to the what you want to parent your kid on. Like you like be like, all right, these are the things you don't do if you want to be a parent. You know what I mean? Tell them that. You know what I mean? Tell the kid, don't do this until you're older or whatever. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't bring my kids to one of my shows until they were older.
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's weird. I don't know. Like the times now, it's definitely bizarre.
Yep, the times they are bizarre.
Yeah, man.
Isn't that a new Chromeg sign? New Chromeg song. These are the times they are bizarre.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you're right. You're writing records for them now. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
No, actually, we're writing the record via phone on this during this virus thing. Finally.
Yeah. So what's going on?
We got a drummer in England, this kid that we saw on YouTube, and sent him. He was playing a Murphy's Law cover, and he was playing like perfect.
Yeah.
And Felipe, who's playing bass now, got in touch with the kid, and we started playing around and it's complimenting him. Next thing you know, Felipe and the kid are making music. They have these kids today. They have these setups where they can make music and just shoot it back and forth online.
Oh yeah.
So Felipe's sending them bass lines, the kids sending drum parts, and they start writing songs.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
Now I get a guitar player in Miami writing with us too. So we got a kid in London, a kid in Miami, a kid in Pennsylvania, and me, and we just knock shit around. And we're writing songs like crazy right now.
That's good, man. Fuck yeah, I know you. I know you've been working on the.
Otherwise, I'd be sitting in a bar not writing songs. That's for sure.
But I know you were saying you've been working on the record for a little while. How far are you guys?
We're pretty much there now for a record.
Oh, cool.
It's just we got to get, pre-production. You got to get it. Now we have all the roughs of everything. Then I just have to get into the studio with them and start working it where it can be played A to B, from the top to bottom. And then we're ready. We're pretty much ready. We have a good quarter of a record recorded, just the rhythm, just the parts that need vocals now, because the guitar player went in just before the virus hit. And we got about 5. He wanted to stretch the studio. We got about 5 songs there recorded now.
Cool.
So I got a lot of work ahead of me with singing. So because those guys are all doing everything, and I'm just going to go and sing. Probably stay at Stress's house for a while and just do vocals on everything.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, I can't wait. Do you guys got a is there a label you're working with, or are you guys gonna just put it out yourselves?
No, we're putting it out ourselves. We're gonna press everything on vinyl with a digital download card in it, and I'm just gonna sell to distributors.
Fuck yeah, man.
Get paid right away. You want records? You get ready, you buy them. Buy them off me by the box. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want to have to wait. These fucking people, these record labels, you sign with them and they give you money to record, and then you're waiting to get paid, or you're wondering how many records they sold, or you're waiting for posters. Now with this, I'll have no one to answer to but myself.
Yep.
So
well, and the good thing is,
plenty of our friends have record stores now.
Yeah, and not for nothing. I mean, you've built up. You guys have a long and kind of and solid career. So it's like you don't. As someone that's owned a record label, there's not a hell of a lot that a record label could offer you at this point. You know what I mean? Because you don't need the marketing.
Money, a nice big advance would be great, but that ain't happening anymore. It's not 1985 anymore. We used to get, here's $20,000 advance. It's like, what? When you're a teenager, it's like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, oh yeah. And then
I'll sign anything.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then half that money goes to booze and fucking whatever, and only a couple grand goes to recording the record, and then you got to recoup all that, But you guys are
that's what everything is recoupable too. Everything the label does is whether you like it or not. I discovered everything's recoupable.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every penny they spent, you are not going to see a penny until they've recouped all that money, and then the profit gets shared. The profit gets shared with you. But yeah, I mean, it would almost be dumb to do it through a label unless it was a thing where someone offered you like a huge advance.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
That's just it. I'm like, all I need is a chunk of change to get a bunch of them pressed. And and this record, the record's not going to have any ska or reggae stuff on it. We're going to do a separate ska reggae record
cool.
to just make everybody happy.
Yeah. And then, but that also helps with like distribution and stuff, because then you can hit up I don't know how much, like the ska stuff seems to be a little quiet nowadays, but like, I mean, I'm sure there's like specific distributors just for that stuff, and you can hit them up for that, and then the punk distributors will carry both, or it hits different worlds, different worlds that have a lot of overlap, but still it'll hit different worlds, which is good, man. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, you're not seeing a lot of ska kids at Madball shows lately.
Yeah.
So you gotta market it to the right people, and with fucking being online, you can definitely sell whatever you want online too. So
sure, but
as long as you've got your head in the right place and an internet connection, you can take care of anything right now with business.
Absolutely, and I'm sure the reverse is true too. If you go to a specials reunion, I'm sure you're going to see some Madball shirts there as well, and some Murphy's Law shirts. But yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
I think Madball should do a ska song. I'd love it.
That'd be so fucking bizarre. I wouldn't. What do you think Madball would even write about if they were going to do a ska song?
I don't know.
Let's get the concept down so we can pitch this to Hoya and Freddie.
Did you ever hear the Clash thing that Freddie did? He did like a hip hop thing that went along with an old Clash song. I forget. It's old though. But, Freddie puts his mind to something, he's going to get it done. And I'd like to hear a Madball like ska song. It'd be great.
and then have Warren put it out.
Some kids in Germany may kill themselves over it, but it'll still be funny.
And then have Warren put it out as a special Pitchfork 7-inch with you on one side and Madball on the other, both doing ska songs.
That'd be great.
Yeah, man.
Well, we just did that one with Rancid for Pitchfork, and that went pretty quick.
Oh yeah, I know. I didn't even get one. I ordered one and it was already sold out, and I was like, fuck. I was like, Warren, if you get an extra one, let me know. And I was like, obviously I'll see him around sooner or later. But yeah, I like that little series he's doing with with like a 2-band split 7 inches. Like I feel like I don't know, you don't see as much of that as you used to see back in the day, like
because everybody's going for theirs. It's like everybody's going for their own thing instead of sharing the popularity and sharing music and sharing sharing fans, and everyone's trying to get their own little squeak in it, man. It's like just this is supposed to be for everybody. Not to throw that word around, but unity. Everyone working together to make this all work for everyone.
No, and people don't see that. Like, if you do good, that's good for everybody in the punk scene. Like, you know what I mean? Because you might bring more people in, and then they'll find your band. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. Like, I'm always stoked, like, with whatever world I'm involved with, motorcycles or music or whatever. Like, I'm glad when anybody's doing well, because I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, good for you, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a win for that world that you're into, as long as it's like legit coming from a good place. Like some of these, I don't know, I don't want to sound like the old guy, but some of these new like hardcore bands that I don't know, like it's like a different world to me. And some, like
it is a completely different world because they're not even coming to a lot of the older guy shows. They have a whole
new scene.
Different world, and that's cool. Good for them. We're proud to them. I also just see a bunch of guys that all look the same, singing about the same stuff. Not to sound like the old guy, not to put him down, but I definitely watch and listen to a lot of all the new stuff, and it's like we need to strive to be different, not to follow and be the same.
Sure. But you know what? I think the difference is that, and also just as a little side, there's too much fluorescent and tie dye in the new world that I'm not used to. But when I got into punk and hardcore, like I was mad that I couldn't see the shit that came before me. I was like, fuck, I will never get to see like Minor Threat, or I will never get to see like Negative Approach. Now, since then, I've seen Negative Approach probably 10, 11 times, and I'm stoked for it. But, like, I'm like, fuck, I missed all that shit. It just seems like now there's like a whole new scene, and they don't even give a shit about the history and the shit that came before them. And,
Kids today.
But it's not even about that.
Kids.
If you're involved in a world, dude, you should be really involved in that world, and you should be stoked that there's bands like fucking Murphy's Law or Agnostic Front or whoever, or Negative Approach from Detroit, like all these bands, or Slapshot from Boston, or wherever. Like there's still bands that were, early like early on in the scene that are still playing. You should be stoked about that. Like, you know, like
a lot of those kids, I think also it's like that. Why are we even doing this at our age anymore? Because and I say, you know, maybe when I was their age, I'd think the same thing. But you know, what are they going to say when they're my age and they're still in? You know, everyone stands on stage and points at the sky and goes, "This is it for life. This is it." And then next thing you know, you see them in a fancy house with a wife and kids, and they're not part of the scene anymore. It's not their life.
Exactly.
For some of us, it just becomes your life. You don't know. Yeah. I don't know anything else but to be this shit talking tattooed guy that likes beer. You know, I don't see myself, you know, really starting a family. I wouldn't mind, but I made my decision. This is my life. I like motorcycles and booze and punk rock music and getting drunk with my friends.
Absolutely.
I'm a schlub. I'm an entertaining schlub.
But on top of that, there's just a lot of dudes that we know that are lifers that have been involved in this forever, and they're always going to be involved. The difference is, right, kids getting into it now, there's 30 years of history before them. When we got into it, especially when you got into it, there was only like 2 years of history before you know what I mean? And when I got into it, there was only like 5 or 6 or 7 years of history before, you know, like, you know, if you you know, so like no one, you wouldn't be an old band into shit. Like an old band was 3-4 years old, you know what I mean? When we first got into shit, you know, so
and
it's
to put out a 7-inch and sell 500 copies was like, wow, man, I heard they sold 500 copies. That's unbelievable. It was like, that was a lot of records.
You know what I never understood too, speaking of that, is like in our worlds, like in Boston, New York, if you sold the 500 or 1,000 records, it was awesome. But then you hear about Blitz would sell like 20,000 records and like chart in Europe. Like how the fuck, like it was such a fucking different world over there. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Well, then you also see a lot of them will try to, well, we've seen Discharge and a lot of other bands go with the poofy hair and try to go to a different type of music. And that didn't work for them.
No.
Back home they come.
Yeah. When it, I'm not gonna lie, dude. When Blitz kind of went into the new wave shit, like that was the biggest letdown to me. I was like, what the fuck? Like you guys made one of the hardest fucking oi records ever, and then now you're doing this stuff like with like keyboards and shit. Like fuck, I didn't get it at all. And I know some people are like, no, it's cool, give it a chance. I'm like, no, fuck that, it sucks. I can't give it. A chance.
You give it a chance. You listen to it for a couple minutes, you know what you're dealing with. We played with Blitz and Agnostic Front at the Milwaukee Metal Fest years ago.
Oh yeah,
and that was pretty insane.
When was that?
That was 90s. I don't know exactly, but yeah, it was Deicide played, Blitz played, Agnostic Front played, and I think Slayer was the headliner.
Yeah. What a weird crazy, lineup.
But it worked. Those would work. The Milwaukee Metal Fest were fucking really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Now, is that when they had the guy from like North Carolina singing for Blitz? The dude that ended up dying, or
I don't even know.
There was a lot of weird stuff with that. Blitz is one of my favorite bands that I never got to see that, so I always get kind of weird about it. But I know for a while I think they had an American dude or something singing for them for a little while or something, and then
I think Discharge has like a guy from Jersey singing for them now too.
Really? Because when I saw Discharge the last time I saw him at the Bowl, they had the dude from Veruca singing for him.
Yeah, they got rid of him. I forget his name, but Pony or Pumpy or Rat.
Yeah.
Singing.
Yeah.
And Rat was great. Rat did a great job. They got some other guy.
Okay. What happened to the original dude? Oh, someone's getting a call.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm at Chophead. Some fucking asshole's calling me on a Sunday. I'm not picking up the phone here. I'm sitting at the counter here at Chophead. That's what's going on. So we'll just disregard that phone. And that's fucking Rat calling from England, calling to bitch us out right now.
That's right. Those fucking guys. They fuck me. We put a Jersey boy in English band. Fuck him.
Fucking hell, mate.
Freak out Nabi, my roommate, Nabi Bones.
Yeah, man. Dude, I used to love Broken Bones, and I remember you years ago you brought him around. I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome!" Like, and now
he's my roommate. The singer of Broken Bones, the singer Murphy's Law. It's like Felix and Oscar, dude.
Yeah,
TV show.
That's fucking awesome, dude. So it's probably never a dull moment. Anyway, you know?
No, it's definitely not a dull moment, and we definitely drive each other nuts. So
yeah, but hey, that's the takeaway.
I'm all American guy, and he's like all English guy, and we make fun of each other nonstop.
Yeah, that's awesome. That should be a fucking, if anybody's listening in the entertainment industry, that is a fucking reality show that should fucking happen. Real World Astoria with fucking Jimmy and Nobby Bones fucking.
He's been here for like 30 something years, but he hasn't lost any of his English mannerisms.
Yeah. In the English humor.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, dude, it's crazy. I think it's cool that like some of these bands are playing again, and you know, as long as it's, you know, and I you know, I always give people the benefit of the doubt because, you know, I'm in my late 40s now and I'm still involved in this, and so, you know, but I never left. But like, you know, I don't know if this really meant something to you. I don't think you can ever really get out, and I think time just fucking weeded out like the people that got into it for the wrong reasons, you know. And
it was the rock and roller virus. It got rid of all of the untrue people. But you know, it's like, how do you, all the bands you still like keep playing, and you still like going to shows. How do you grow out of enjoying seeing your friends and being around your friends and listening to music that you love? How do you grow out of that?
I know. I never got it either, dude. I never got it either. And I know people. I look at
it like the old rock and roll bands. You see all the old rock and roll bands playing still, and that's how I'm seeing hardcore is going to be. We're going to be a bunch of old like doo-wop guys on stage.
Yeah, playing like county fairs and shit. Like,
I mean, Charlie Harper from the UK Subs is what? He's 74 now.
Yeah.
So you got to figure. He's a senior citizen, still doing shows.
No, and any time one of those fucking bands come around, like GBH just played in Boston maybe like a year or two ago, I'm going to that fucking show. Like, you never know when it's going to be the last time you get to see somebody. And
yeah, it's true. At this point, for sure, you never know.
You never fucking know, dude. And you know, I was looking forward to like you know, it was funny when I started this podcast, like, just did it just for something to fucking do and just put a different perspective and talk to my friends and shoot the shit with my friends and kind of put some cool shit out there. And one of the first people to hit me up, like to come on the podcast was the guys from The Business, and they were coming out. They were supposed to come out. I don't know. I probably doubt they're coming out now. They were going to tour the U.S. this spring and summer, and you know, and
who's singing?
I don't know. That's what I got. That's what I wanted to figure out. Like, but you know, you know, rest in peace, Mickey Fitz, dude. Like, you know, but like,
yeah, it's kind of hard to replace Mickey Fitz.
I know.
I still can't accept the Dead Kennedys without Jello Biafra singing, and he's still alive. I don't know how they even have the nerve to continue trying to play without that guy.
I know.
He's the front man. I didn't get into the Dead Kennedys for East Bay Ray. No, I got into Dead Kennedys because of fucking Jello Biafra. Any shit on stage, and
yeah,
I don't know how I can't get that. So
I know.
I don't know how you replace a personality like Mickey Fitz.
I know, and I was just kind of really interested in seeing him and stoked to have him on just to talk about like super historical stuff, and you know, I'm bummed out that that's one thing I won't be able to see this summer, but like there's still bands that are, you know, still doing it, like, because like, you know, but going to what you're saying, I don't get that either. Like, there's certain bands that Jello Biafra had such a distinctive voice and distinctive mannerisms and distinctive, like, you know, what he wrote about, like very ahead of their time, very still relevant to this day. I was talking about that with somebody just the other day. Like, he's not a replaceable dude. Like, you know, there's certain bands, like, you know, that you could get away. Like, Black Flag always had fucking vocal changes, so like you can kind of get away with.
They get used to it, and they have had some legendary vocal changes. It's kind of hard to even pick who you like, and, you know. But you know, I'm a Des and Chavo guy, but Keith even, you know, and you know, once you really listen to the catalog, you really can hear who's really good at it.
Yeah. And it's like Dead Kennedy, like you're not going to find another Jello Biafra, like a guy that thinks the way he does and he has a super annoying voice that somehow you like. You know what I mean? Like.
The government. This goes out to the government.
But
you'd have to get some gay guy in San Francisco on angel dust to take his place.
Angel dust. That was that like a disgruntled former
government worker.
Government worker. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. That
the government's awful.
But it's true. But yeah, I mean, and I get that there's like something bad probably happened between all them and it's bad business. But guess what?
No doubt.
Kill the fucking band. You don't need to come back unless you're going to have him in it. And
yeah, kill the band. It always works for me.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Murphy's like,
if you don't get along with him, kill him.
Just kill it, yeah. Or fuck it, yeah. I mean, just put it to an end, or I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough. But
I'm sure them being California guys, their arguing wasn't very aggressive anyway. I was probably like, I disagree with this and I disagree with that, and they probably agreed to disagree and went both ways, as opposed to like Boston guys and New York guys who would have been like, all right, let's go in the parking lot.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man.
We'll settle this.
I know. And you know what? The thing is, it's hard to even go to the parking lot now because there's cameras in the parking lot and there's going to be 30 people walking by, pulling their cameras out, pulling their phones out and fucking whatever. A lot of people probably know you from music, and we talked a little bit about some of that stuff, but some people, especially on this podcast, probably don't know that you actually worked with Larry for a little while, and you're a motorcycle guy as well, and I know you're always out at the Race of Gentlemen and like some of the events out there, like the Indian Larry Block Party or a Cheap Thrill Show just over the bridge in New Jersey and stuff. But what was it? What got you into motorcycles, man?
My neighbor, Ronnie, when I lived with my parents, my neighbor Ronnie had, I always liked motorcycles since I was a little kid. I had these riders and stuff and always look at bikes and always like those style of bikes from back then. And my neighbor Ronnie, Ghost Motorcycles, pulls up in the back of the house, Ghost Motorcycles from Long Island, and he gets a fucking a Cervicar, a flathead Cervicar. So he was literally across the like right across the parking alley from me. And so I was in his garage like every night, and me and him would be messing around with the flathead, and that was my first. I never even thought about it until I got older. I I didn't like flatheads till I got older, and then and they got trendy. But I was that was one of the first bikes I worked on was a flathead Cervicar.
Nice. And
then a friend of mine had this MZ. It was a communist East German bike, and he I don't know what happened, but he hooked me up with the bike, and that was my first bike I started tinkering with. And I actually I got a book. I wrote to the company in Eastern Europe, and they actually sent me a hard copy book on the breakdown of the bike and everything for free. Totally, they were just psyched an American kid had one of their bikes and was fucking around with the bike.
That's awesome.
But then I hooked up with this guy Zach and his garage when I was working at the Pyramid with Ray. And he had a bike, the 56 shovel pan, and I fell in love with it. And I bought it for $4,000. That was my real first bike, a 56 shovel pan.
Yeah,
knucklehead frame. It kills me that I got rid of it. I should have never. Never got rid of it. I had a bad accident and had to sell it for money.
Sure, I know. I get it. Worth a lot more than $4,000 nowadays, dude.
Oh, it sure is. The straight leg knucklehead frame was worth probably that much now.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Abso-fucking-lutely, dude. I see those frames going anywhere from like $3,000 to $6,000, depending on the how much shit's been cut off or how much it's been like fucked with and stuff. But
I do remember me and Steg who owned SD Cycles and Psycho Cycles. Me and Steg cut the fucking sidecar mounts off of it. And I was like, and then years later, I was like, what did we do?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, but back then, who fucking knew? When I first got into bikes, you could buy knuckleheads for like $3,000-$4,000. No one wanted them. Like, there was like, oh, that fucking piece of shit.
Flatheads. You could have bought a whole flathead bike for $1,000.
Yeah, you couldn't give them away. You could buy a running flathead. You could drive it from me to you for $1,000. Exactly, dude.
Good luck with that now.
Yeah,
thanks to fucking Mel.
That's what I was just gonna say.
I'm like, you know what you did, bro?
Yeah, I told him that too before. I was like, you motherfucker, you fucked flatheads. I always put flatheads aside. I always liked them. I always wanted to get one, but to me they were always like a $1,000 to $3,000 bike, and now you can't even touch them. I wish you were here. You got
knuckleheads too. The race of gentlemen is like it's like getting too big for. I went last season and the line for bikes and cars was like, it was crazy.
I know.
That they have to turn guys away now. There's so many people who want to do it. I mean, it's great, but it's going to be great when everyone gets sick of all these bikes and wants to sell them.
Absolutely. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I am waiting for is like, because I've been through, I got a couple decades now in this world, and I've seen a lot of trends come and go. To me, classic bikes I've always loved and has always been cool. I've never seen it to the extent now that people are like fucking rabid for classic bikes, like
and choppers too. Now that whole the hipster chopper thing is going on now too. It's great. I mean, it's good because it's preserving a lot of parts, and a lot of bikes are going to the right places.
Yeah,
and it's expensive now, but maybe by the time couple more years, maybe you guys will get tired of this shit, and they'll all be on eBay for cheap.
Yep. And when gas is outlawed and everything turns electric, and then we can run some renegade bikes and buy all the shit up cheap. But I wish you were here now, dude. You got to come down to the shop sometime when we're all allowed to freely travel between states. Fucking my tech is building a 37 flathead in here. You'd fucking love it. I'll send some pictures to you. I know you'd dig it.
Yes, definitely send me some pics.
Yeah, my Tech Junior, shout out. He's building a fucking really rad 37 back there in his off work hours. But fuck yeah, dude, I love old bikes, man, and yeah,
they last. They stand the test of time, and old American bikes are dopey bikes. The flatheads were made for soldiers to work on in the mud in the middle of war.
Yeah.
Try to do that with a Honda Goldwing.
But it's true. No, I know. Here's the thing though, like a knucklehead or even a panhead, they're like fucking tractors, dude. Like they're gonna work in shitty situations. You're just not gonna. They're not performance bikes. Like, and if you want to make it a performance bike, you're gonna spend a lot of money making it a performance bike. But like you should just be happy if your bike is running good and you can get on the highway. You know what I mean?
Like you get started. Yeah.
Be excited about that. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. But like, if you want to go 150 miles an hour and everywhere you go, then buy a new bike. You know what I mean?
Or get $500,000 and get a Crocker.
Yeah. Or a Vincent Black Shadow or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Those bikes weren't that fast. If you can believe that in those times.
I know.
It's scary.
Yeah, dude. One of my stories of like fucking regret is that years ago, a friend of mine was like, hey, do you want to buy a bike? I know this guy, he inherited it from his father. It was a cafe racer his father built in the 60s. He passed away. He doesn't know what to do with it. He wants like $5,000 for it. He was like, I don't even know what it fucking is. He was a hot rod guy. He goes, it's like called a Norvin or something. And I was like, $5,000? And I was like, yes. I was like, sight unseen, yes, I want it. I will take it. I will find a way to get the money tomorrow. He goes, well, he's going on a cruise tomorrow. He'll be back in a week. And I was like, I will absolutely take it, because that was just like a Vincent motor put into a Norton featherbed frame. Like the Norton featherbed frame was like a big cafe racer frame in the 60s and shit. And so, this is like probably 2006 or 7 or something, it was a while back. And I was gonna this is when there was like the British guys were like super staunchy, like purist motherfuckers and hated choppers and shit. So I was gonna make a real fucking idiotic like Vincent chopper out of it, I was gonna keep the whole, like, out of respect to what it was, I was gonna keep all the original 60s cafe racer. I was gonna keep that whole rolling chassis the way it was, because it probably had a lot of weird rare fucking cafe parts on it. And
yeah, weird shit.
Yeah.
A lot of those bikes had weird suspension and stuff on them.
Yeah, stuff that you can't find anymore. It's the same type of world as the chopper world, but it was the cafe world, and it had its own stuff in the 60s and whatnot. Yeah. And so I was going to pull the motor out to put it in a chopper frame just to aggravate people, and it was going to be like Chopper at home of the Vincent chopper, just to piss off all the stodgy purist guys. And but while he was on the while he was on the boat, he was talking to people about it, and he ended up getting like 15, 20 grand for it. And, you know, it was well worth it. If you know what a Vincent goes for now, like, you know, just to have a Vincent engine.
Yeah, Vincent Black Shadows, what, like 200,000 probably?
You're just crazy. Yeah, if you had an all original restored one, yeah, you're looking at, you know, anywhere from like 50 to 200 grand, depending on the bike, you know what I mean? And it's just fucking nuts, you know, but,
yeah, that's why I can't believe what Crockers go for now. Well, you know, with Meekum auction and stuff.
Yeah.
They just auctioned off Larry's bikes. Luckily they seemed to go to a decent place, which was like, some guy that owns a bike shop and has like a bike museum and everything. So they went to someplace good. Someone's going to respect them.
Oh, that's good,
I couldn't
man.
believe
Didn't they go for like 200
Larry's
grand?
bikes went for sale. They went for, I think, 150 for both.
Yeah, that's fucking
one
nuts.
One was 100 and one was, it was like 150 for the pair.
Yeah. We got a bike in here that we redid for a customer because, you know, just with time, it was an old Larry bike when he was still at Psycho Cycles and with Stag and stuff. And it's got, I guess it was for Paul and Kano told us that it was for a guy named Indio that they built it like sometime in the mid 90s. And our customers had the bike since then and wanted a different tank. You know, it banged up the frame and stuff. So we tore it all the way down and repaired the frame and powder coated it and stuff. And I have the original tanks that were on it hanging up. They were on my shovel head. Long story short, but anyway, we got that bike here. It's still got the Psycho Cycles, you know, clutch plate cover and all that stuff on it. And the guy wants to sell it. I would want to buy it. I just don't got the money for that type of shit. Just for the same thing, I'd keep it out here. I'd ride it and fucking keep it in the showroom as just like chopper history, man. But I hope he doesn't sell it to some fucking lunkhead. I really hope it goes to someone who will respect it and
unfortunately, many lunkheads have lots of cash.
Yeah.
It pays to be a lunkhead, I hear.
Yeah, I know. and that's, you know, that's the thing. So like going long story short, like all the stuff that was cool and it was cheap, all these people got into it and now it's fucking expensive. So now you got all these like kind of like money guys that are getting involved in like flatheads and shit, like to race over, you know, whether it's there or someplace else and or on the Cannonball or any of that shit, and it just blows it up. But
yeah,
I'm like you, I'm waiting silently in the wings for the fucking all the shit to blow up and come down in price. Like right now, all those people that paid fucking 70 grand for big fucking donkey bikes in like the mid 2000s with like 300 rear tires and stuff, but they have like,
oh my god, those things are going for nothing now.
They're going for 6 grand, 5 grand. We had a customer come in. You know, it was unfortunate his son passed and it was his son's bike, but it has a big 121-inch total performance motor in it, and he's going to be asking 6 grand for the bike. And I'm like,
oh my god.
I'm like, dude, if it was just a little cheaper, I'd buy it just to pull that motor out of it, man. But it's got,
the motor's worth a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah, but it's got, you know, it's one of those 300 rear tire. It's one of those ones where you see a curve coming a half mile up the road, and you got to start turning. You know what I mean, right then, because it doesn't handle well unless it's going straight.
No, handle it with that fat ass tire. Forget about it. You're pretty much doomed, especially if it gets wet.
Yeah. So you know the motorcycle stuff comes in waves, and stuff people were paying 60 grand for in the mid 2000s is now going for 4 to 8 grand, you know, 10 grand, you know what I mean? So I will wait I'm like you, man, me and you will just wait quietly for the classic stuff.
Wait in the wings.
Yeah, just wait.
Wait for them to get their hot girlfriends pregnant, so then they have kids and they have to sell the bike. wait till they grow up.
Yeah. Yeah, because me and you ain't growing up, and we'll be there waiting for like, oh, you want to sell? Yeah, 2 grand, dude. Fuck yeah.
Yo, who'd have thunk that hardcore records would be 7 inches would be going for $1,000 a piece?
Fucking or more, dude. Fucking crazy. I'm like,
more.
Some are more, dude. It's I don't get it, but.
If I could only go back in a time machine.
I can't even imagine all the shit you had. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, I still got some shit. I sold not too long ago. I was totally broke, and I had an Urban Waste 7-inch test pressing.
Wow.
And I sold it to a kid for $900.
Yeah.
And he tried to be like, well, it's been played a lot. And I'm like, well, go find another 7-inch from Urban Waste test pressing for
test
me.
press. Yeah.
So, like, you're not.
Because back then it wasn't like labels pressed 50 or 100 test pressings to sell or do like special editions. There was like 6 or like 12 or something. That was it.
Or 4. Or 4.
Yeah. Like, yeah, sometimes even not all the band members even got one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Know what I had?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
I sold it.
Yeah.
I sold it.
Dude, I sold a couple of Misfits records back in the day, like Night of the Living Dead, and some of those 7 inches that I regret selling. But at the same time, it's like I'm not sitting there putting a record on a record player anymore either. So it's like I like to have records from my friends and brothers and stuff like that because I like to hold the physical thing. But do I need them? No. I mean, you can find anything you want online now and listen to it, on your phone or whatever. But
yeah. Literally on your phone. I got the whole fancy stereo, and I'm looking at a fucking huge rack of vinyl, and I still find myself. Thank God the tube amp I got has also got a Bluetooth hookup, so I can play everything through it. So I just find myself DJing through my fucking phone. Like, if it was me years ago, I'd hate myself. I'd be like,
"Oh no,
these records."
I get it. But the thing is most of the time I'm listening to music. I'm at the gym or I'm out. I don't have a lot of time to listen. I'm not home enough to listen to music. So I don't like come home and put a record on the record player like when I was a kid. So it's like, I don't need the vinyl, but you know what I do? I only have a couple of test presses, but when I was a kid, when I was like 15, 16, I used to trade records and buy records from from the guitarist of the Necros. So I have a test press of the Necros Conquest for Death 7-inch. And I have
that's worth a couple bucks.
Yeah, and I got a test press. Even better to me is I have a test press of the Process of Elimination comp, which was like the first appearance of like Negative Approach and Necros and Meatmen and all that.
Wow,
shit.
yeah, I have that actual 7-inch.
Yeah. So I have
test pressing that, huh?
Yeah, dude, and it was from Andy, from the guitarist of the Necros, and I still have like the letters and stuff from when I was a kid, and he'd be like, "Yeah, here's these, and let me know if you're looking for anything else." And I'm looking for these records, like when you used to have to write people like that had record collections and that were in on that scene to be like, "Hey, what do you got? What are you looking for?" You know what I mean? Let's work out a trade, or But I think
what shows are coming up. That's the way we found out about stuff. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are the days, my friend.
Yeah. And I think the thing is that, I 100% now appreciate having the convenience of like, hey, I want to listen to fucking, Murphy's Law, Crucial Barbecue, and I can just type it in and it comes right up. But
boom, right immediately.
But when I do appreciate having that now, but that's after the fact that I had an appreciation of like, if I really wanted something when I was younger, you had to hunt it down or be at the show or trade for it and write people all over the fucking country and look for trade lists. And, I think you appreciate it and cherish it more like when you spent months hunting it down versus like, oh, I could type it in and it comes up in 2 seconds. You know what I mean?
And boom, immediately. But the good thing is, I never thought I'd say these words, is that now with digital downloads, every time someone does hit a song or something, the musician, if they did their homework right, they're going to get paid for every time somebody plays something, a little bit, a penny or something, but you still get, whenever somebody plays something online, if you have your publishing and stuff correct, you're going to get paid.
Yeah, on Spotify or something. Yeah, someone was talking about that. I can't remember who it was, but I actually think that was on Jimmy Gestapo's podcast or something where the difference is like in the old days, someone bought a 7-inch or an album or a cassette or a CD. For the most part, you bought it once and then listened to it as much as you wanted, versus now, like with Spotify, every time you listen, the artist gets a cut. Now it's like a stupid fucking 1/10 of a percent, 1/10 of a cent per play. But if it adds up enough, then if someone listens to it 10,000 times or something, then hopefully you get a little bit of money out of it. Well, actually, this is showing my age. 10,000 on streams means absolutely nothing. You need like millions of streams for there to be any kind of real money, obviously. But yeah. But that's that, man. But fuck yeah, dude. So what? So you're in the Goldwing Academy now, is from what I hear.
No, I'm getting ready to get out of the Goldwing. There's something happened to it. I think it's my solenoid. I'm going to change the solenoid. If it's not the solenoid, I'm going to push it down the block and put a match to it. They're cool bikes to ride. I never thought I'd ever ride one and like it. But once you ride one, they're so well balanced and they got so many doodads on them. And the one I got from '86. Yeah. So the new ones, forget it. It's like, but when something breaks, you can't. You got to be a fucking a rocket scientist to work on them. Just to get the cowl off the front of the thing is like a day or a weekend.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Get to anything.
Yeah, if you're not used to doing it, if you're not a Honda tech that does it every day, all day, yeah, I get it. Now,
no, I'm not a Japanese guy with tiny little hands and a brain. No, definitely not.
Yeah. You got big meat paws and fucking like, oh, let me smash this. Hey, does yours have a reverse on it?
No, unfortunately, and that's another reason because I got bursitis. We go old guys again. More old guy talk. I get bursitis in my hip, so it's very, very difficult for me to push the bike back. It's almost 800 pounds.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, dude. That's such a fucking big fucking machine. So what are you gonna what are you looking to get into next for a bike?
Well, when I get hopefully I'm gonna have a settlement from my hospital problem I had, and I'm gonna go right and buy a fucking Harley, a new Harley.
Yeah,
that's what I always wanted to go get a new Harley, and I want to be able to ride cross country. So I won't have to fucking worry about fixing it. I don't want to work on a bike anymore. I want to ride the bike.
Yeah,
I don't want to ride like from New York to California.
Sure.
Yeah. I want all the doodads. I want the fucking GPS, the stereo, I want the headset that I can hear the stereo.
Well,
I want everything.
Yeah. Well, you're a Goldwing guy now. You can't go without all the doodads. Like,
dude.
You can have the drink cup. You can have the drink cup and everything, like the cup holder and all.
No,
that?
I was gonna get one because the one I got, it's got this death wobble. So I was only using it to cruise around the neighborhood. So I've been smoking joints and I went to get coffee one day and I was like, wow, I want to ride with the coffee. I was like, this is how it happens. I was like, I had the coffee. I went outside. I was like, where do I put the coffee? I was like, I got to get a cup holder. I was like, I got coffee. So I was like, Jesus, I got to get. But you know what I did? I opened up the flap in the front where the gas cap is, and I just put the coffee in the middle of the tank. So I was riding around with classical music blasted with a half a joint hanging out of my mouth, riding around with the
coffee. Hey, there's this. How did? Yeah, that's. But
you know, a fucking air compressor on. I could put the air on my tires from my bike's air compressor.
That's awesome.
It's got air shocks.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man! You could open up a stand on the side of the road at the Race of Gentlemen and be like, "Oh, you need air in your tires? Come over here. We'll fucking hook you up." So yeah, dude. Honestly, I don't want to be part of that kind of that old Harley mindset, like, oh, fuck all the new shit. But my having a shop and having been, worked on and done some upgrades to some of the new Milwaukee 8 motors. I mean, I know like the 17s and 18s had a little bit of oiling problems or stuff.
That's what I heard. They had the oiling problem because there's no separate tranny for it. It's one piece unit.
But I'll tell you what, dude, they're fucking fast, fucking responsive, like bikes. Like they're fun to ride. You know what I mean? I'm more into classic bikes, but it's still
the factory's got what 131-inch motor. The factory has now.
You can get a drop-in 131-inch motor. There's no model that comes with that, but you can get a drop-in motor.
The CVO. The CVO you can get. I think the CVO has. I think it does.
Okay. But I know there's like the 131-inch bolt-on kit, like, so you can pick up your bike with that kit installed on it for sure. You know what I mean? And maybe
that's my plan. I want to go balls out, dude.
Maybe the CVO does come with it. I'm not up on the newest stuff.
I went broke dick, and I'm going to go balls out.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Well, I was like, hey, Jimmy, come out to the shop. I'll see you in 2 hours.
See you in 2 minutes.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
But I heard it's a nice motor. It's a reliable motor, for a motor that big, to put, and they're only putting them on the cruiser bikes.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and I think too, like, I don't know, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but if it's a Screaming Eagle setup, I'm sure that it has some kind of warranty with it, So
it's got the full warranty. It's got the full factory warranty for a crazy motor like that. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. I mean,
unbelievable.
It's just retarded horsepower. Do you need it? No, but is it awesome to have? Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
well, when you're riding across Arizona and you don't see anything from one end to the other, then you know what? Then it's nice to have it when you can just open the motherfucker up.
Fuck yeah, dude! One of my favorite rides ever. We were the horse used to do a smoke out, the smoke out chopper rally, but they did a couple years. They did them in Arizona too. They did like a smoke out west, and they were in Arizona, and we were on a ride, and we were coming out of the mountains heading towards Winslow, and like we came out of these crazy mountain passes and then came down, and then we were just in the desert, and then it was like this straight road that was like as far as you could fucking see. If there was a cop or something or a speed trap, you would see it like 10 miles away. And all at once, no one even looked at each other or talked or anything. Everyone just fucking wide throttled it right at the same time, dude. And it was like such a fucking good time, man. It was a ride that, one of those rides that you don't forget. And it was so long ago. And it was
you
just
never forget, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just so much fun. It was like, because we were all freezing, because we just had T-shirts on and shit, because we were in Arizona. And then you get up in the mountains and you go high up, it gets fucking cold. It's down to like 40 degrees and shit. And then we came back down.
Really cold. You get snow. You can leave Arizona, wind up in the mountains with snow.
Oh, absolutely. I lived in Flagstaff for a couple of years, and it would get more snow than here. It's a different type of snow. Like, it doesn't get all as icy and fucked up as it does out here. But yeah, so it was like 40 degrees, and all of a sudden we hit back in the desert. Then all of a sudden we're on this like straight road, flat desert road that just went for as far as you can see, and everyone's just like, wow, wide open throttle. Like, we just fucking hammered, dude, and it was so fun. But I know my tech is obsessed with getting a new M8, and he's the same one that's building a 37 flathead, and he gets my wheels turning. But I was like, I ain't get that money, man. Those bikes are fucking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking to get that to ride far away and go, and then I want to get one of those race gentleman bikes and fucking be a dick and go to that thing and make everybody aggravated.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. I mean, my trike is in an old Cervicar frame, dude. We should bring that and try and race it, because it's so fucking sketchy to ride. But I don't think it's...
There's guys that ride trikes on it now too. At there, I've seen guys on stripped down trikes.
Oh fuck yeah, man! This isn't a stripped down one.
They just don't have the dog box on the back. It's just the frame.
That's cool. Yeah, this has got a big...
And they do that thing, the Frozen Few. Did you see the Frozen Few videos?
Oh, yeah. I didn't see the videos, but I know what it is. That shit's fucking rad, all the ice racing and all that stuff.
Harley made a fancy video of them riding on ice and stuff, like Harley Davidson sponsored film. It's like film, like a movie.
That's
Hollywood production. It's really cool. It's actually,
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, I want to do that.
Coming spring of 2020, like a big fucking.
No,
thing.
it's not. It's just them riding and like some music, and then it's just Harley Davidson. That's it. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, the last few years, Harley smartened up and tried to get more in touch with the different subcultures. The problem is that they're always a little behind, and that it always seems a little bit disingenuous, because they also put out a lot of fucking legislation and they do a lot of fuckery. So I'm not gonna say one thing or the other. Like, I don't know where I stand with Harley as a company. You know what I mean? Like, because I love their bike. They're one of the only companies where you're allowed to hate the company but love their products. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Like, it's like, fuck them, but keep making bikes. You know what I mean?
Mel hooked me in the band up when we played in Milwaukee, and I met the guy Bill that does the whole library there. So yeah. Bill turned out to be a friend, and he took us on a whole tour of the fucking. Sure. His workspace is in the library. He's got a whole. He redoes and fixes. He's the guy. I was like, wow, with the guy. I was like, and now he's always at the race of gentlemen with one of his bikes.
That's awesome.
And he rode. I forget how far he rode on that. Like, it was a 1912 Harley or something, some insanely old Harley. And there's footage of him riding like interstate on one of those bikes. I'm like, it's fucking nuts, bro.
Well, and that's the thing is there's a lot of good people that love motorcycling that work for Harley. It's just when you get to the executive level, I'm like, I don't know what they're fucking doing. You know what I mean? But I know there's a lot of good people that work for Harley, and like the guy you mentioned, or people in their marketing areas, or like in their R&D areas and whatnot.
Yeah, but some of them are definitely not looking at the old pictures that we're looking at, and seeing what guys are liking, or looking at the comments on their commercials. You know.
Yeah.
I think I don't think any of their bikes have regular shocks on them anymore.
No, no, they're all like, they went to like a Softail platform. They killed the Dyna at the height of Dyna's popularity. They killed the Dyna.
At the height of Dyna, killed the Dyna. Yeah, that's what I was like, what the fuck are you thinking?
and they introduced the live wire.
Maybe that's their plan. I don't know. Maybe they want people to want and be upset and be heated. You know,
Yeah,
I'm sure
I don't know.
it doesn't hurt to be like, oh, I really want that. You know.
Yeah. Well, who knows? And I actually, out of morbid curiosity, I really want to try one of their electric bikes just because I heard how crazy the acceleration is. Like, I've never ridden any.
I heard it's insane. I watched all kinds of videos of it. It's supposed. I've seen one right in person, but I mean, $30,000, bro.
No, I'm not. I would never buy one. It's just morbid curiosity. I've never driven an electric vehicle too, and I know people that have Teslas and stuff love them, and they say how crazy the instant acceleration is. I would just like to feel that, but I'm not really interested in owning one. They do have a new model coming out called the Pan America, which is like their version of like a on off-road bike that I'm interested in seeing.
It looks like a road glide. It's like a Frankenstein head in front of it.
Yeah. It's like a road glide and like a KLR like fucking made it or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a weird road glide nose on it. But they used to have Buell used to have Buell had the fucking they had one.
Yeah,
Buell had a nice one.
Yeah.
I forgot what it had, like a Greek name or something.
I forgot. I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name, but I was never too up on Buell. But I wish I was more. Like, you can get Buell so cheap now, and they're fucking good motors. You can throw them in like a sportsman chopper chassis, and fucking some of them you can, not all of them, and you can do some cool stuff with them. Like I don't know the business behind everything, and I never researched it, but it just always amazed me that they didn't keep going with like something with Buell. Like, you know, they don't have to do a whole line.
Sport bikes. So I think they were making nice sport bikes. I don't know. It's like, you know, and now you have Indian comes in with the 1200 flat track bike that they have.
Yeah,
it's fucking badass.
Yeah.
I don't know, why isn't Harley doing that? You know?
I don't know, and I don't even mind those. We had a Indian, some of the new Scouts in here. They're just weird to work on, man. Like, and the first time I didn't realize, this is just my naivety and my own business ignorance. Like, a guy came in, he had stored it for the winter, and then was like, "Hey, how much to do a service, like a spring ready service?" And I gave him the regular price. And it was the first time we had seen one, so I didn't know. Like, dude, those things are a fucking pain in the ass to work on. If you got to take the gas tank off to get to the air filter, and then if you need to change the plugs, you got to take the whole top frame rail off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to get to the plugs and shit. It's fucking nuts. And
yeah, they're not made to be a friend. They're made to be, you know, they're made to make the factory money, I guess. You know?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I heard they run good.
Yeah, no, it's a cool little bike, you know what I mean? For, you know, like their version of like a Sportster, I guess, you know, would be the closest thing, and they're cool little. I just never been a big Indian guy, you know, like you know, it's just I don't like hate them, but I'm just not into them. Like, I don't like victories.
I don't like the skirts and stuff.
No, yeah, it gets a little like, yeah, I don't, all the fringe and all the fucking craziness. You know, the worst thing about the big Indians is like, you got to take the front fender off if you want to put them into a normal fucking bike lift too, because those fenders are so fucking big that, you know, like, I don't know if Indian has their own like fucking special fucking lifts or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking nuts. Or they just cut the other ones down so that they can get it on. But we just had one come in for just, you know, a little bit of like some custom badges and service and stuff, and it was just like, oh goddamn, it's such a, you know, I guess anything you're not used to working on is more of a pain than something that you're used to working on or whatever. But you know, it is what it is.
No, I'm pretty sure that they're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. The Buell Ulysses. I just found it. The Ulysses.
Yeah.
I'm working on one now.
Yeah.
It was the dual sport. The Buell dual sport.
Yeah.
You know.
I've been really thinking about picking up a dual sport since I've been like, since the gym has been closed. I've been walking in the Freetown Forest a lot. It's like right down the street from my house because I can't lift. I don't have a lot of stuff at home, so I've been doing a little bit of body weight exercises and then doing a lot more hiking and stuff. And like every day I'm like, I gotta go get like a fucking dual sport or something. But I know having
$6,000, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you get KLRs for $2,000, but I know the problem is that I always think and is that if it's a dual sport, that means it does both, but it's not wicked good at either. Like, should I just get a dirt bike or should I get a cool dual sport? Like, I like KTMs and all that. I don't got money to be throwing around at any of this shit right now. So, but
I had the bike I had the accident on. I had the BMW Power to Car, the Power to Car Classic, the black one with the chrome bars on it. Okay. That's the bike that I T-boned the car with, and that was a fucking badass bike.
Yeah.
It was like riding a horse,
that?
though. I'm 6 foot. I was on my tiptoes on that bike.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's how I'm 5.
Monster.
I'm like 5'10", and I sat on a KLR once, and I was like, do I got to get a lowering kit for this, or what do I got to do? I grew up. I didn't grow up in the riding dirt bikes and shit, so I never rode in them. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I feel like I was on like super tippy
and it had a 10-gallon gas tank. That thing.
Yeah, so it was fucking heavy as fuck, huh? But
you know what? No, it handled really well. I actually had it up to 120 miles an hour. That was where it pinned. But I had plenty more room. It wasn't scary at that fast for a fucking dirt bike.
Yeah.
You know, a 1,000cc giant dirt bike with an airhead. You know, it was well balanced, really cool bike. At first I thought it was ugly, and then I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And then I crashed it to pieces.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that there's a lot of bikes that don't look well. Like, aesthetically, they're not pleasing, but they ride good, and they do what you want it to do, so you love the bike. There's a lot of bikes that are fucking aesthetically awesome, but they fucking ride like shit, and it's just, you gotta kind of,
Yeah, Harley Davidsons.
So what happened with your 56? Like, I remember you told me the story before, but you had a 56 pan shovel, and then
I crashed. I had the accident with the BMW. Somebody ran a red light, and I hit him. And my arm, I almost lost my arm, and I folded my arm back, and I rebuilt my arm. And I wasn't working or doing anything, so I had to sell the bike.
Yeah,
that was the only thing I had that could get me any money. So I had to sell that to live on until I could walk and use my arms again.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really sucked.
Well, we all got that. We all got the bikes that we had to, or vehicles that we had to get rid of because of one thing or another that we always regret. But it is what it is, dude. You can always get another one, man. When you get that settlement, let me build you a fucking rad fucking pan shovel, or come here and build it.
Yeah.
Build it with us. Stay out here for a little while.
I'll set up a camper out back and we'll build it there.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I do miss having a garage too, because I did love working on that bike. It was easy to work on.
Yeah, and that's one thing I never understood about, I know it's different times, but like in New York City now, like getting garage space is got to be fucking insanity, dude. Like
it's impossible, dude. Yeah. You gotta have your grandmother's house or something, or because it's like $500 a month or more to get a garage.
Yeah. That's how it is in Boston too. For a parking spot, people are paying $200 to $600 a month. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is it like that? Like in all
a house with a garage and pay the mortgage, just because you got a garage.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, is it like that out like in the boroughs too, like Queens and stuff? Like
yeah. Story where I'm at in the that's the boroughs, Brooklyn. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget Williamsburg, like $600 for a garage. Yeah, forget it.
Yeah. And you're talking about
if you could find one.
Yeah, and you're talking just like a garage stall, not probably no electricity and shit, right?
But there's guys that all kick in on
spots,
on garages and work together. But you know how that goes too. Then where's my wrench and where's this and I want my own garage.
I've known a bunch of guys through the years that have like started like a collective like that, and it never seems to go well. Like, you know what I mean? Like no,
there's always somebody always shits the bed.
Yeah, there's always some foolishness with them, and it sucks, man, because it's always like good intention to start out with it, and it's just it sucks. Like you get people in a group situation, and then everyone turns into a fucking asshole for some reason. I don't get it, but
just like a band.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Hey, but fucking what I've noticed too is that down where Larry's shop is and everything, like just going to the block party for so many years or and going to shows out there, like every year I go, it's like more and more unrecognizable. Like there's less and less like manufacturing or like warehouse area. Like it's all getting developed in that everywhere, dude, huh?
Yeah. So that money in Williamsburg, forget it. It's more expensive than Manhattan right now.
That's fucking nuts.
It really is.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you could have bought a building there in the 80s for like $50,000, a whole building.
Yeah. That's the same thing. Like on Mass Ave in Boston, like when you get right off the highway and going into Boston off of 93, the Mass Ave, like in the 80s, it was like a real crack area. And all I remember is one of my biggest regrets is one of our friends' fathers saying, hey, you fucking jerk off should all fucking pull your money together and buy one of these brownstones. And you could buy the brownstone, like a whole brownstone for like 50 to 80 grand. And now I don't even know that they're all going in the millions, absolute millions. This was late 80s, early 90s. And I'm like, I'd never pot to piss in, back then. Like, but like, if I would have been more smart, like been like, you could probably buy one with like $3,000 down. You know what I mean? Like if I
$3,000 down. That's what I always say about when I bought my bike. I was like, I could have put money down on a carriage house back then in the Lower East Side.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, like hindsight's always 20/20, right? Like if we would have known back then.
If we were thinking like that back then, we wouldn't have had any fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Yep. That's 100% true. Like, and I'll go through life and like, I'm not struggling, but I'm not like rich, you know what I mean? And like, like, well, in the winter I struggle, especially when they shut my tattoo shop down and that's my main source of revenue. But like, but whatever. This COVID stuff will end soon enough.
It's getting pretty rough right now for me because I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, there's people that have nothing right now. There's people that lost their mothers and couldn't even be by their mother's side,
Yep.
And there's a lot of fucked up stuff happening, and people need to think about it,
That's the best thing to do, man, is always put shit in perspective, because like I like my shop is like, the tattoo shop will survive. My motorcycle shop is going to survive. Like I know people who have businesses that probably going to have to shut down, or like, like you said, or people that are losing loved ones and whatnot. So it's, it's nuts, but we'll all get out of it, and the world will fucking continue, but it's fucking, putting things in perspective always works better, man.
It's definitely going to be different again. Once again, after September 11th, the world would never be the same. And now with AIDS, the world was never going to be the same. And then now with this, the world is never going to be the same. I mean, it's life. Life is, we get hit with a lot of crazy shit. There's shit that we don't even know about that we're going to get hit with. I'm sure that's never going to be the same again. If everything was the same every day and we didn't have any challenge, life would get pretty fucking boring. I mean, This is definitely in a good respect. People are, people call each other racists anymore. The black and white people aren't pointing at each other anymore. It's like everyone's getting along, everyone's helping each other. All of a sudden we're asking the government, what are you doing? The government's not asking us what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's like we're seeing what they're doing, which is not a hell of a lot. They're not ready to help us.
I don't feel like much.
They're ready to kill. They're ready to kill people. They're not ready to save people. There's plenty of weapons, but no paper masks.
No.
Don't give me a break.
I mean, and I think more than anything, I hope that people, and I know everyone gets tied into like, people get tied into political parties and this and that. I hope more than anything, people have had the time to really see how badly the government handles situations, and, for whatever reason, like this was so fucking mishandled, and it's not like a Republican problem or a Democrat problem. It's like a fucking government problem, dude. Like no,
it's the government's, the whole, it's all of their problem,
And it's just fucking
crazy. For a long time,
dude.
They weren't ready for anything.
They're all fucking opportunistic scumbags, dude, to me. Like, I mean, I'm sure there is good people involved in that go into things for the right reasons, but it seems like by and large, it's like opportunistic fucking craziness, dude. That's
politics, bro.
Yeah, it is, dude. And that's what I always tell everyone. Don't forget, it's us versus them, dude. Like the reason why all these politicians get away with so much is because we let them. Like, we, the population, let them, and we keep voting the same fucking idiots in that keep doing the same shit, and then we all complain about the same fucking shit.
That's pretty much all we get offered as idiots, though, unfortunately.
I know. And that's the thing, is like, I tell people, fucking, if you're in one of the parties, fucking unenroll, dude, become independent, and then fucking make everyone earn your vote. Like, don't let, there's people that just vote based on whether there's a D or an R after that person's name that's on the ballot. And you can't do that. The time for that is done. Like, like we haven't had any competent fucking people in the presidency in a fucking while. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, like as shady as Trump is.
Roosevelt. I think Teddy Roosevelt was the last one we had. It was a real man.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and even like, Kennedy had some really good qualities and policies that he was pushing through, and they were trying to get him to do really shady shit, and he rejected it. And he was trying to get us out of like the central banks and back onto like a gold or silver standard, and he was doing a lot of things that would have really helped the country. And unfortunately,
and then they killed him.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But
and then they killed him.
Yeah,
they got rid of him.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to postulate. I don't. There's so much there that with that stuff, and it's funny because the 50-year mark happened, and everything was supposed to get released, and then they renewed it. Like, nah, the world ain't ready to hear this shit yet. Let's keep it locked away for more time. There's probably some of the motherfuckers still alive that were involved in the shadiness. That's why it got.
Yeah, they're probably still in Congress.
Yeah. But dude, yeah. So what do you think that, it is crazy to think though, like our lives after this, like are going to, no matter what, it's never going to be like it was like March 1st. You know what I mean? Like just 2 months ago, like the world was just like, we were just kind of going on. And then all this shit happened and, coming out of it.
Now everybody's going to be all paranoid and icked out. Like, stay too close to me. Get away. Get away. Oh, don't put that in me. Well, did you just touch me? Oh, really? I mean, you get neurotic people as it is in this world. They get all upset about words.
Yeah.
Now they're going to get upset about you being near them. The same kind of people.
And it's weird. It's
Get
weird.
Too close.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Don't get too close. And it's weird, man, because people are already, getting further apart just with all the digital shit. Everyone's more involved in a digital world than the real world. And now what's left of physical proximity is going to be even fucking more weird. You know what I mean? Like for some people, and it's and even if they opened up everything next week, if you played a show next week, there'd probably not be the amount of people that would normally be there because there's still going to be a bunch of people that are all freaked out and fucked up and like I ain't going anywhere,
Yeah, no, it's going to take a long time, if ever, for people to start coming out again and doing what they used to do. No.
Yeah. Well,
At least I don't have to share my beer and Jägermeister anymore. I'm keeping it now.
So the show, the moral of the story is go see a Murphy's Law show because Jimmy's going to be even more fucked up because he ain't sharing no more. And bring your own booze.
Yeah, I'm not sharing.
Don't try and get a free swig of Jägermeister. Go buy a shot. You know.
Yeah, no, you get a shot if you take a shot of my Jägermeister. That's for sure. No more germs.
Yeah. Oh, you're just gonna have to get sleeves and nips, dude, and just fucking toss those out. And get that Jaeger fucking sponsorship going again. Fucking reach out to whoever the new marketing person is.
They wouldn't give us product, bro. We didn't get booze. We only got like hats and shit.
Oh yeah.
And we gave us like merchandise.
Yeah. It's like, that's better than nothing, but it's way better to have the product itself.
Yeah, I think that's how they got mad because we started taking the shirts they were giving us and screening Murphy's Law on the other side. So then we were selling them.
That's awesome. Oh, you know what though? Just being an event promoter, I don't know if it's a state by state or if it's a national thing. There was some new regulations on liquor industry where they can't give liquor away like they used to be able to. So it might not be their fault. Like it's
state to state too with that. On like with me on stage, people they're like, well, we're not allowed to do that, or whatever.
Like where PBR, PBR used to give us like on the Chopperhead 15th anniversary party, like PBR literally gave us like 1,500 beers or something. You know what I mean? Something fucking ridiculous. Like I filled the whole bed of my C10 long bed, 70 C10 long bed with it, and after that, like it wasn't soon after that where they were like, well, we can give you money and we can give you like merchandise, but we're not allowed to give alcohol away anymore. Like we can't give you product anymore, but we can give you money and then you can buy it. You know what I mean? And things like that.
Money's always good.
Yeah. So hit Jaeger up for some money. They got money, man. Be like, look.
Yeah, well, I think one time they gave us $400 for to buy product.
All right, there you go.
We bought product. I don't know if it was Jägermeister.
Yeah. That I was like, that's probably like 2 or 3 shows worth. You got to be like, you got to support the whole tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But fuck, man. Yeah, dude, I definitely, I appreciate you being able to take some time and talk on the phone today. Was there anything that we talked about a fucking array of things, man, and me and you could talk for days, and I definitely want to save some stuff for us to do a face-to-face one, but is there anything that we haven't talked about that you think's important?
No, we'll save it for when we sit down and we get bombed on some Tito's and talk and really talk.
Absolutely. This is the precursor. Yeah, this is the foreshadowing, the precursor. The we'll get really fucked up and hammered, and then have like an awesome, fun podcast. This was great.
I want to be on one of the videos. Are you still doing the videos?
Well, no. Yes, and no. So, well, I'll explain, because actually that's important, and we're you know. The first, all the other ones were all DVDs, you know, and they were primarily DVDs, and then they got put on Amazon as, you know. So if you're bored right now, go on Amazon and just type in Chop Ahead. Our first 4 DVDs are on there, and they're all a couple of hours, so you got a lot of content that you can watch.
Funny, dude. They're great. You guys did a great job on it.
Yeah, but that was like, those were filmed like between 2003 and 2014. But we are doing a thing called Chop Ahead TV now, where it's the same thing but more like 25-minute episodes, and it'll be up on Amazon and other streaming type of things soon. Where we actually just kind of, the editing is almost finished right now for the first 5 episodes, and then they'll be submitted. I don't know how long it takes, because I think they got to get subtitled and all that shit before they can go out. But that is coming soon. So we'll definitely film. And then I do plan to do video on the podcast as well soon. So we will, you know.
Look at me, I'm promoting you on this.
No. But what I mean is, like, so when you come in next time, we'll have video component to it as well. But
yeah, let's do it for sure.
Yeah, and so enough of me. But now let's talk about you. I mean, you got a new Murphy's Law record coming out. When are you expecting that? When are you expecting to have that wrapped up?
I don't know. You can't say anything. When are we going to be able to go out? I can't go into a studio.
Well, dude, you're behind the times, man. You just got to go buy a microphone and get some software and record it in your room.
No, I'm not that good. You want my vocals to sound all right, and I make so many mistakes. I need guys to punch in all the time, so all the fuck ups.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Basically about 2 weeks after a bar opens, I'll be getting ready to go to the studio.
Fuck yeah, man! Fuck yeah! And and
I'm doing a bobblehead. This company Throbblehead is doing a bobblehead of me.
Oh fuck yeah, man! When is that coming out?
I just approved the design, and that guy Craig. I just dropped you there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Did I lose you?
Nope.
Did I lose? I'm mopping my floor while I'm doing this.
Oh no, you were talking about the bobblehead.
The guy Craig Holloway. Craig Holloway did the art for it. The guy who does a lot of cool hardcore graphics for bands.
Oh yeah.
So it should be. And the company that did the G.G. Allen bobblehead and all that stuff.
Oh,
so they do pretty good characters.
Awesome, dude. Let me know when that's out. I want to grab one from my desk.
For sure.
Oh, we'll have one on. We'll have one on the. And when I have the video on the podcast, I'll always have it out here so we can refer to the Jimmy Bobblehead for certain questions.
The bobblehead report.
The bobblehead report. Well, I'll have to have you call in, and then we'll just shoot the video of the bobblehead spin like with its head bobbling, and you can talk.
Pretty much how it works in real life, anyway.
Yeah. Well, hey, one thing that's cool with that you do is your live action tour reports. Whenever you guys are out on the road, you always kind of do your the Jimmy Gestapo tour updates. That's always something to look forward to.
People do enjoy the van report, so I did a couple during the virus, but I kind of been out of the mix after my mom wound up with it, and I just kind of took the wind out of my sails. Just been dealing with that.
Sure,
headache right now.
Yeah, but like you said, she's doing good and is all recovered and everything.
She's recovered from that, but she's 74. She still made this Charlie Harper from UK Subs, but in a lot worse health. And they tried to send her home from a rehab, and she was not rehabilitated, so she had to go right back to the hospital. And the hospital's like, why did they? My mom's in bad shape, and the medical, medical is not good in America. So there's no, for senior citizens, they don't get treated well here.
Yeah.
It's a hassle watching my mom get knocked around by medical companies and stuff like that.
Yeah, and on top of it, everyone's so fucking up in arms about COVID. Like, they're trying not to do anything other than that right now. It's fucking nuts. Unless they absolutely have to. Yeah, so I get it. But so we got a new Murphy's Law record coming. It's in the works. Hopefully within the next year it'll be out. What else you got going on, man?
Just the ska record, and we're doing. But that was the thing, was the ska record was going to be a 10-inch, so we're going to try to do a gatefold, and the record on the gatefold, the other record is going to be all band names. So it's going to look like a show flyer with a shitload of bands, but all the songs are going to be, there's going to be Agnostic Front. There's going to be a song. Sigaroll is going to be a song. And I don't know if he's going to definitely be poking fun at everybody and having fun with everybody's names, but it's a different concept that no one's done before. So I'm not going to do that.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, so look out. They got Murphy's Law has a new album coming out and a new side project ska record coming out and a new thing where they're making fun of hardcore bands. So you want to
the concept record.
The concept record of making fun of their friends. So you want to look for that. What else you got cooking, man? Anything else going on? I mean, besides
that's it, bro. Just trying to find a good deal on fucking ramen noodles right now because we're running out of cash over here at the fucking at the Jimmy house.
Fucking, you gotta print up some fucking COVID Murphy's Law merch or some shit, dude, and fucking.
We did. We have masks on Rock Soft, but they're too fucking expensive. The company that makes them charges like a fortune to make them. I wouldn't suggest buying them yet.
Well, I know that.
We'll find a better company.
I know that. Was it Dead City sells a lot of your merch? So if you're looking for some Murphy's Law merch, what is it? Dead City Records?
Yeah. What do you call it? Big John from No Redeeming Social Value. He has Dead City merch.
Yep. So check it out. Go over there, buy some Murphy's Law merch. There's a lot of cool designs, like throwback designs, new designs. Fucking. I always check out what he's got going on over there because he's got a lot of cool bands. But go buy some Murphy's Law merch and support, and download some records, or go buy some Murphy's Law shit and fucking support in this time of need. Buy some shit, yeah. So, all you motherfuckers that are state workers that are getting like paid vacations, spread some of that fucking money around to everyone that's not so fortunate. Or if you're lucky enough to work for a company that just tell you to stay home and quote unquote work from home, and you work for 2 hours and still collect a full check, fucking spread some of that money around. Or if you're getting unemployment, or you get that $600 a week bonus and you're making more than you did when you actually worked at the job, spread some of that fucking money around. Go buy some Murphy's Law merch and fucking help dudes that can't work out, that want to work,
buy some stuff,
so if someone wants to get in touch with you, you want to give out some websites and Instagram addresses and stuff?
Everybody can just hit me up on my Facebook page. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
There's no more website shit. Website, where's that? You go to Facebook, you go to Instagram. I post a lot of pictures on Instagram, and then the Facebook for Murphy's Law is just the Murphy's Law Facebook, and then there's my personal page.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the best way to reach out to us.
And it's at Murphy's Law NYC, right? On Instagram?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, fuck yeah, dude. I want to thank you for taking the time today to talk to us. And we will fucking do this again soon, and but it'll be in person when we're allowed to do all that again. I got to read a couple things here, and some of these people, so feel free to chime in if you want. I just got to read a couple of things for our sponsors. First off, I want to thank Chop Cult for sponsoring the podcast. And if you're not familiar with Chop Cult, they're a news resource and social network dedicated to chopper guys and gals and bike riders and motobiking and stuff like that. So just go to chopcult.com. They got weekly features. It's like a blog. They got a message board. They got a classified section. It's just a big fucking motorcycle forum, and it's free to join. So it's go to chopcult.com. You can sign up. It's free. They don't ask you credit card or any of that sketchy shit. And you can also follow them online on all the social medias at Chop Cult. And that's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, all that shit. Also, check out our boys Omerta. They have a clothing company based out of LA. And, in these times where everyone's ratting out their neighbors and stuff, it's more important than ever to buy the Stop Glorifying Rats shirt or the Mind Your Business shirt. I know they got a Madball collaboration shirt. We did a Chophead one with them a couple years ago. I think Noise is doing one. We need the Murphy's Law Omerta shirt. So
we got to do one, yeah.
Yeah, hit up Chris or Mick, dude, and get that fucking going. But they screen a lot of their shit on American-made apparel. They got T-shirts, they got fucking socks, they got all kinds of shit. Windbreakers, fucking hoodies, fucking pomade, fucking all kinds of shit. But these dudes are like real deal. It's not a couple of jamokes that came in trying to capitalize off of subculture. These dudes have been part of our world for a long time, and they're friends.
And Dirty Mix a vet too. Support a vet.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can find them at omertamia.com. They also just launched a new app this week, so you can go to if you go to wherever you download your apps for Apple or Android, and just the App Store and look up Omerta, Omerta. You can get their app. You can see them on Instagram at Omertamia. It's Omertamia. For those of you that aren't Italian and need to know how to spell that. And here's the other good thing. If you when you check out, put in the fucking promo code Big Truth. Just put in Big Truth and you will get 20% off your order. So how can you fucking say
did you ever think it'd be a promo code?
I know. I'm every day I fucking wake up and be like, I put on my pants and fucking get ready for the day and be
I'm
like,
a promo code, bro.
I'm a fucking promo code. So, today's going to be a good day. People can use my name to get free fucking shit from Omerta. And it's like, and not only that, let's do the math here. If you spend $1,000 if you buy $1,000 worth of shit, 200 of that is going to be free. So you don't spend $800. If you buy 100,
and then what you save, you can buy Murphy's Law stuff with.
And
there you go.
Yeah, and then go over to go over to Dead City Merch or go contact Jimmy and fucking have Jimmy.
I'm on the page right now. They got a lot of cool shit. The socks are great.
Yeah, but yeah, and then definitely buy some Murphy's Law merch with that money you save, or go to chophead.com and buy a T-shirt from me. But buy one from Murphy's Law first. You got to support these bands. Like Jimmy's a lifelong fucking hardcore punk rock kid and a musician. This band's been around since the early 80s. Fucking instrumental, pivotal band. This is the band that like influenced all these fucking countless new bands and fucking in the world. I can't even fucking imagine how many people like got into fucking hardcore punk through Murphy's Law, dude. Like you guys have been on the forefront for a long time, and I'm not just saying that to blow smoke. Like I really do respect you as a fucking person that's been around for a long time and a fucking pioneer, man. And like I said, not only that, you're a good time guy, but you're verbally and fucking physically outspoken about protecting our scene, dude. And that means so much to me because like a lot of people, like you said, just whatever, dude, like people are worried about brownie points or whatever and not just fucking saying it like it is, dude. And I'm glad you're a voice that does that, especially because people aren't expecting that from you, because you're always just like a good time guy, but when all of a sudden you're like, no, fuck you, that's wrong. It's so fucking good, dude.
What's a fence walker shirt? Don't be a fence walker.
Don't be a fucking fence walker, man. Fucking, you're in this or you're not, dude. And that's it. But yeah, also if you got the time or the energy or the moxie, check out chopperhead.com. I have a bike shop. We've been around since 2001. We do full service, we do repair, we do custom build. So like I said, anything from an oil change to a full custom chopper, we'll do it. New bikes, old bikes, whatever, man. We specialize in Harley. So, unfortunately, if you come in needing massive motor work on your Honda Rebel, we're probably not the shop for you. But, if you have a fucking any V-twin, we're into. And it's just literally not set up to work on. A lot of the Japanese bikes are different. We'll do your oil change and we'll do tires for you, but we don't get it deep into the motor work and stuff. But we also have apparel. We got parts. We got our Kevlar line Defender gloves that are 100% made in the USA out of deerskin leather lined with Kevlar. So
I have them.
I know. You've had 2 pairs, right?
Yeah, I lost a pair in a taxi, goddammit.
Yeah. And, so they're abrasion cut and stab resistant, so they will help you if you go down on your bike. And nothing. I don't want anyone to go down on a bike, but I do like hearing it. There's been so many stories through the years of people being like, man, I had those gloves on. Thank you. They fucking really saved my fucking palms. I'll get pictures from people and be like, look, dude, like, so it really helps. Like, if you're riding around, especially in these days when everyone's a fucking distracted fucking retard, fucking posting pictures and selfies on Instagram while they're driving, you should protect yourself out on the roads, man. Wear a full face helmet and fucking, wear some good gear, because it's crazier now than it's ever been. I hear more and more about so many people fucking getting in accidents or going down or getting fucking rear-ended at stoplights or fucking all kinds of stupid shit, man. So protect yourself. And last but not least, you can check out the website for the show here. It's bigtruthpodcast.com. So again, Jimmy, thanks for coming on. I can't wait to do this face to face. And
thank you, Truth. I love you, brother. Thank you.
I love you too, bro. I will talk to you soon. Everyone, thank you for listening and supporting. Have a good day.